you're searching for an escape. The fire in your heart, it just keeps on burning. Keeps on, it just keeps on burning. Keeps on, it just keeps on burning. Keeps on, it just keeps on burning. Fire in your heart, it just keeps on burning. Don't worry, don't worry. You got the future on your mind. No hurry, no hurry. Let's take it one day at a time. Don't worry, don't worry. You got the future on your mind. No hurry, no hurry. Let's take it one day at a time. Don't worry, don't worry. You got the future on your mind. No hurry, no hurry. Let's take it one day at a time. Feeling like you're stuck in a hurricane, 'cause everything around you just keeps on turning. I can see you searching for an escape. The fire in your heart, it just keeps on burning. Keeps on, it just...
Damn, man, I don't know why I'm feeling nervous right now. All right, let's go. Let's go. Hello, and welcome back to the Give and Go, the first stream since the World Cup ended and we saw Argentina win the World Cup and Lionel Messi lift that beautiful trophy. I'm your co-host, Reynoso, joined by my boy.
Soltero, what's up, guys?
And today's special guest, a man that once came on to this show, defended his country, defended his team, went through so much in the following months, went through hell supporting his team, fought and backed them no matter what, and now sits at this table joining us to just bathe in glory,
Yeah.
to just enjoy himself and have himself a hell of a pod. And that man is none other than one of the biggest Instagram community organizers out there, one of the best social media guys that exists when it comes to football. Is none other than Augustine from Debatable Football Opinions, baby.
Thank you, guys.
He has joined the
Thank
pod
you
once
for
again.
having me, bro. I've been here before, during, and after the World Cup, and
Wow.
I love being here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, dude, the last time we saw him, we were amping up for that Mexico game.
Yeah.
Which puts things in crazy context,
Yeah.
considering everything that unfolded afterwards.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
If you could keep the mic a little
Yeah.
closer to you. And I see people in the chat already saying, where
Where's
is
the
the
jersey?
Argentina jersey? And we're about to get to that, folks. We're about to get to that because I want to recap the journey that the Give and Go, that Augustine, Argentina fans, Argentina haters have all been on in this path to Messi lifting up the trophy. Messi's incredible moment didn't just start a month ago, right? It was about a month ago where he lifted that trophy and we saw Argentina have a glorious celebration. But this started way back, man. This started more than a year ago when the Give and Go started, putting out predictions, putting out ideas of what we thought would happen with Argentina in the World Cup. Likewise, we started seeing a little bit of a hot take forming in the chambers of Soltero's mind with Argentina being a team that he didn't truly respect. And I want to go from here now to a video that producer Russ prepared for us that really recaps this journey and what we went through and what we saw happen.
I feel like Argentina's good. Yeah, they're going to make it to the knockout stages. Probably quarters. But at the end of the day, I think they're going to wimp out at quarters. They're going to get pummeled 2-0, and Messi's just going to go home. I do not see this team lifting the trophy, and one of my biggest criticisms, they're just not facing the best competition. I said the same thing about Brazil. I cannot forgive the competition of CONMEBOL for not testing Argentina or Brazil enough. And for that reason, I cannot say that Argentina is going to lift this trophy.
If Brazil or Argentina or any South American team wins it, how does that shift your mentality going into future World Cups?
I'm going to be completely honest, haven't even thought about it because I'm that certain that they won't lift it. I haven't even thought about it.
If it does happen, I'm coming back on the pod.
We're gonna
giving you an Argentina jersey that you're gonna have to wear.
You're gonna have to shave your head.
And I deserve a public apology. Oh, him too. Yeah.
I will apologize publicly. I will go to Argentina. I will kiss the ground. Yeah. I will do whatever it takes. I will apologize.
Okay. What happened today?
Today was the test, and they passed. Argentina are in the top 4, and that cannot be taken away. Congratulations to Argentina. I thought today was Argentina's best performance as a whole over the course of 90 minutes in one singular game at this year's World Cup. Next like 10 shoots we ever do just in general, I'll wear an Argentina jersey, and I'll also go kiss the soil in Buenos Aires.
You think so?
That's what I'm gonna do.
You're being serious right now.
I'm being 100% serious.
Being serious. So the jersey, 10 shoots in a row.
10 shoots in a row.
10 shoots
you
in a
will
row.
only catch me in an Argentina jersey.
Okay. You promise to go to Buenos Aires
Within the next year.
Right.
Expect like an Instagram picture of me on my knees kissing the soil.
That's big.
In Argentina.
That's
within
big,
the
bro.
next year.
We'll have a shaman, an Argentine shaman,
Right.
bringing you to the most precious and freshest soil in Argentina, and you'll kiss the fucking ground.
Kiss the
Get
ground.
on your knees and kiss the
We'll
fucking
get a
ground.
beautiful photo of it. I will give my apologies.
It's still going. The video is still going. Yeah, dang it. Hey, we're a little behind, guys. We're a little behind. Reacting to it right now.
I feel like Argentina's good. Yeah, they're going to make it to the knockout stages.
Probably quarters.
Nah, just let it be, man. Just let it be. This is a little bit more. Oh, no. Oh, we're good.
That was a beautiful.
All right.
That was beautiful.
Yeah, that was a beautiful,
really
recap there where we talked about everything that had to do with Argentina. And I guess just right off the bat, how do you feel watching that? How do you feel?
I mean, my stance hasn't really changed, I think, since Argentina beat the Netherlands. At that point, that's when it really turned for me, where I said, okay, Argentina can go on to lift the trophy, and that's exactly what they did. We could talk about that game maybe, or the final, maybe a little bit more in depth, but in general, I conceded at that point. After that penalty shootout against the Netherlands, I said, look, they're in the top 4. Nothing can be said now. They are one of the best teams in the world, and they solidified that by actually winning the whole goddamn cup.
No, and I agree. I respect the way you went about it. Once you realized you were wrong, you admitted to it, and not just that, you began supporting the team that you criticized so heavily. So I applaud you for that, for standing tall in the midst of so much criticism and so much hate. But as mentioned last time Augustine was on here, the take does come with some consequences.
It does.
We've got a score to settle. And the first thing that has to be settled is that fucking Argentina jersey that Augustine himself has brought to you to give as a gift. And I'll hand it over to him for him to present.
By the way, I want to mention, you can keep this.
Oh, wait, for real?
Yeah, it's for you.
Oh, shit, okay.
Keep it.
I'll
So
keep it.
we wrapped it up because we wanted a little bit of suspense.
Fuck.
Wrapped it up by yours truly.
Fuck.
And whenever you open it, I want you to show the people in your camera the front and the back,
Okay.
if you would, please.
Which one should I do first?
Whichever.
Whatever you like. We got a beautiful,
This is good.
beautiful jersey. Show this camera right here.
Oh,
Right
shit,
here.
my bad.
Beautiful.
Please turn it around.
Yeah. Right, see this? All right.
All right, let's see the back.
Caption this.
What an image, man. What an image. It's actually beautiful.
It's actually beautiful.
It's really
Yeah.
great quality. Shout out DHK for coming through Augustine with the order. And go ahead. He's going to put that jersey on.
while he
And
does
as
that,
the punishment stated, we're starting count now. 10 shoots in a row. This is shoot number 1. Soltero will be wearing the Argentina jersey. I think a round of applause is merited for this incredible gift, man. This incredible gift. Yeah. yeah. Hey, it looks good on you too, man. Hey. Hey, chill, man.
Argentina!
Relax, bro. You're going too far with it. No, but
Hey, bro.
that's
Kiss
great.
the badge. You
Kiss
did it
the
be-
badge,
you
and he
did it
kissed the
before
badge,
even-
man. He kissed the badge. What a gift, man. The jersey looks great on you. God, what a moment, man.
What a moment.
We waited for this for a
We'll
long
welcome you
time.
in.
And
You're
let's
already
get a
there.
handshake right here.
Yeah.
Man.
handshake.
Honestly, I'm not saying a goddamn word for the rest of this episode. Have fun, boys.
And I think that's perfect then, because I want to hand this over now to Augustine, who, bro, we're sitting at the table with someone who won a World Cup. Someone who actually won a World Cup, because for the entirety of my life, bro, living in America and being Mexican, I don't really know that many people that have won a World Cup. And I know he didn't play on the fucking field, but when you're a fan of a team, when you're a part of that nation, winning a World Cup goes countrywide. It's everyone who experiences it. We were sitting with someone who's won a fucking World Cup, and I want to hear all of it, man. I want to hear about your experience. I want to hear about how you feel, everything you went through, and just what that feeling is like, because I do dream of one day experiencing that feeling as well, my friend.
All right. So the first thing I got to say, big shout out to my previous job for giving me an entire month off, because I was able to go on vacation. I went to Miami, where there's a big population of Argentinian people. So,
Oh, shit.
yeah. So I made it to Miami one day before the Netherlands game. So the entire vacation, we were going to be there until the very final, after the final, the entire vacation was dedicated to watching the World Cup. So the entire vacation could have been ruined if we lost to Netherlands. 14 days of fucking depression in Miami.
Right.
I wouldn't have gone out. I wouldn't have gone to the beach. Nothing. And we made it to Miami one day before the game against Netherlands. That game was fucking unbelievable.
My God, one of the greatest World Cup games I've ever seen, entertainment-wise, too.
But once we beat Netherlands, like you brought up, like once we were in that Final Four, I just kind of knew, the sky's the limit. The sky's the limit. And then we went on. I don't know if y'all want to break down a little bit each game, but
I think for the Netherlands one, I think seeing how Messi played that game, dude,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, dude, they can beat anybody. It doesn't care how good France is. It doesn't care how good Croatia is. Messi showed me that specific game that, like, he's going to be astronomically good, and there was no doubt in my mind they would continue at that level.
Yeah. Okay. This is one thing that we brought up whenever I was here after the Mexico game. I brought up that I believe that Argentina could grow after that Saudi Arabia loss, and then beating Mexico. I thought that Argentina could grow with each game. And you, Soltero, brought up that Netherlands game that we played was the best, at that point, the best game that Argentina had played. Yeah. What happened afterwards, they played against Croatia, an even better game. And one could debate that after that, they played against France, an even better game. So this is a nation that grew as the tournament went on. And that Saudi Arabia loss, by the way, it helped out a lot. It was a reality check, and we just grew from literally zero. We could have been knocked out of the World Cup in group stage, And we just grew from there, and rest is history.
Yeah, I was telling Salter, I was like, I wonder if that loss to Saudi Arabia, if that was almost necessary to be able to kind of get that streak out of the way, forget about that, because a lot of pressure was building up with the whole 36, 37 games in a row and beating absolutely demoralized themselves after that first game. And it's almost like it took the pressure off because the expectations dropped. I mean, we were talking shit about how Argentina was not looking like they're going to win the World Cup after that game. And in a way that helped them.
Yeah, I think my biggest takeaway was definitely how Argentina were able to truly grow game by game in the tournament. But what really surprised me, and just something that I did not even expect. So, for example, I expected Messi to have a really good tournament. Right. I expected other players to kind of really show up, especially the fullbacks. Dibu Martinez were having really good seasons going into the tournament. So I expected all of that. What I really did not expect was the coaching tactical genius of Leno Scaloni. Truly. So much so that I think I can confidently say he's probably the best national team South American coach I personally have ever witnessed. I'm talking about Copa Americas, all the World Cups. I'm talking about Colombian coaches, Chile coaches, Brazil coaches. And then Argentine coaches themselves, because I was thinking about it going back like 2010. What you had Maradona, not a tactician whatsoever, just more of like a role model to look up to, which is great to have, but not necessarily someone you can count on to make big decisions in big games.
Right.
And then in 2014, you had Alejandro Sabella, R.I.P. But I questioned. I thought he was a little bit too pragmatic. I thought he wanted to be a little bit more like well-rounded in the midfield and defense, and kind of just let Messi take over the offense. Yeah. And I did not like his substitutions either, especially in that final, man. Especially in that final against Germany. And then in 2018, you had Sampaoli. That was a fucking mess.
Yeah, that was.
Skip that one.
That was a desperation move. Sampaoli was doing horribly in Sevilla, and they're just like, fuck, we don't have a coach. Let's get Sampaoli. And that was a really bad move. But then getting Scaloni. And I don't think he was set to be the actual coach. It just worked out. I think he was interim for a little bit, and then he ended up just being the coach.
So he was the Argentina under-20 manager, and I think he coached 1 or 2 games, and they straight up put him with the main national team.
Yeah. And since then, I was still doubtful, because I was like, he hasn't really had any coaching experience outside of youth level or assistant level as well. But for the moves that he made in this World Cup, I think will go down as just the most tactically sound and ultimately really good decisions made by any South American manager at a World Cup, man. I mean, the moves that he made, that interesting rotation with Lisandro, El Cuti Romero, and Otamendi was bizarre, but it never not worked. Every time he rotated one out, I was like, what the fuck is he doing? And it ended up working brilliantly. Yeah. And then the idea to bench Di Maria for a little bit after he got a little injured and then to start him in the final? How good did Di Maria play in that fucking final? That was ridiculous. It paid off so well. Yeah. And then the 2 midfield inclusions, McAllister and Enzo Fernandez. I mean, there's nothing else to say, man.
He didn't start Enzo in the Saudi Arabia game.
Prior to
it was just great. Like he realized, oh shit, I fucked up. Yeah. And right away fixed it.
Fixed it. And so there were so many moments throughout this entire tournament that just point to Scaloni, one of the best coaches in all of international football.
Not only is he a great fucking tactician, he's actually a really good man-to-player manager. Yeah. Where also, like, if a player is given a chance, like a young player or a player who hasn't been given that many chances in the past, like McAllister, Enzo Fernandez, and they perform in that one game, a lot of coaches take it slow and they're like, okay, you did great, but let's kind of slow it down. You'll also play it this other time. But no. Scaloni will put you in the starting lineup. You did great. Here's another chance. Keep it up. And then that's kind of how players get that form. That's how you saw McAllister and Enzo just join this Argentina midfield. Like, they've been playing there for years. Yeah. And Scaloni just trusts so many of their players and gives them the chances that they deserve, and it pays off.
Yeah, that is truly special. What got me, though, was you see his reaction when they won the World Cup?
Scaloni's? Yes.
Bizarre.
Yes.
I don't think I've ever seen a head coach in any sport celebrate the way he did, if you even call it celebrating. Bro, he was stone cold. He was serious. He was just like...
I loved it. It gives me goosebumps. I've watched that video. I know the video you're talking about. It gives me goosebumps every time because Montiel scores his penalty. He doesn't react, right? A lot of people go up to him to congratulate him, whatever. He goes to sit down, takes a sip of water, whatever. So cold. And then it breaks down. All at once. It hits him like this. It was insane.
I've never seen something like that. It really did surprise me. I was like,
if you have not watched the video, you have to.
Yeah, you have to look it up. Yeah. But all in all, man, congratulations on a World Cup victory. Your first one that you got to experience, but the third one for Argentina in general. I see a chat right there that says all their jerseys are outdated with only 2 stars.
They're coming up. They're coming
out. I'll eventually get it. I'll eventually get a real one, a 3-star one maybe. We'll see. But for now, this is actually, fits great.
I bet this jersey out of context is gonna be so weird to so many random people.
Right.
Like you're just at the bar and it just says I was wrong at the back.
You gotta
explain that shit every fucking time.
It's
fucking torture, dude.
Torture. Man.
But man, I mean, what do you have?
No. I was just gonna say, like, dude, you could really milk this feeling for years, literal years, and I'm truly jealous because I remember I thought about Costa Rica making that quarterfinal in 2014 for like 3 years after, and they didn't even get to the fucking semifinals. Right. So for you to actually experience your team go all the way and then go through 2 insane penalty shootouts and come out victorious on both times, I mean, like, seriously, man. Like, are you okay? Like, are you?
Okay, maybe I'm gonna say this 'cause, like I'm a prisoner of the moment type thing, but I could not give a rat's ass what happens ever in anything football related for the next 20, 30 years. Like, what else do I need? You know, like obviously I'm gonna stay tuned to everything. I'm gonna keep supporting both my club and Argentina. You know, Copa Americas. We got more World Cups coming up, but like, we lose, okay, big fucking deal. We won in the best way possible, because I do believe that other than just winning the World Cup, it's also winning the World Cup in the best fashion possible, with, like you said, the penalties,
drama,
Messi,
and then
lifting
Messi
style
it,
too.
like no, the World
Messi
Cup
lifting it.
victory is gonna top it. I think.
Yeah,
Like in 50 years, whatever Argentina team wins, like
that's just
it'll be
another
great.
one.
But
Yeah.
bro, they don't have Messi. Like the
Exactly.
story of Messi
Yeah.
was something that even
And
if you're not
yeah.
Argentinian, it still resonates with you.
And what can top that final?
Yeah,
That final.
that
final
final
was fucking crazy.
Yeah, one of the
man.
greatest finals, if not the greatest final
Yeah.
I've ever seen, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is some heavy shit we're talking about right here, and
Very.
I feel weird like wanting to transition to the next topic because it's not gonna live anywhere near in comparison to what we experienced not even a whole month ago. So overall, how are you guys doing with that post World Cup withdrawal? And that goes for the chat as well. How are you guys doing with watching football now that the World Cup is over?
I got the post World Cup blues, man. I remember like a couple days after the World Cup final, like Tottenham was playing, and I saw Heung-min Son like go down the wing, and he couldn't have cared less. Because you go from playing for millions of your own people. Heung-min Son was playing for millions of South Koreans around the globe, and then the Premier League's big. It's big. It's a big league, the biggest league arguably in Europe. But it's just nothing can compare to representing your nation, your country, where you're from, your culture, and yeah. So I've been on a little bit of a club break, but I'm slowly gonna get back into it. We got Champions League coming up in a month, Club World Cup, and then just big games. In each league, there's big narratives, big stories to see who's gonna end up lifting the titles at the end of the season. So I'm slowly easing myself back into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I can't. I have been watching a little bit of club football, but my heart's not in it. You know what I'm thinking? My heart's in Copa America 2024. Because if Argentina can win a Copa America, a Finalissima, a World Cup, and then a Copa
Another
America,
Copa, yeah.
Damn,
where does that put us? That
Yeah.
legacy.
I had not thought about that, man. I really haven't, because people talk about Spain 2010 winning the Euros in 2008 and then in 2012. This would have to put them up there as well.
Yeah, because it's basically the equivalent, the South America equivalent. But we also put a Finalissima as the cherry on top, and we also have that unbeaten streak of 36, I think it was, which is higher than Spain had. I think Spain might have had like maybe 30, 31.
Is Messi for sure going to stick with the national team until then? Do you know?
So he said he wants
Have
to
you talked
play.
to him?
He texted me the other day that he wants to keep playing as a World Cup champion. It would have a little part of me thinks that it would have been nice to just call it, just retire now as a World Cup champion. But it will be nice to see him play as a World Cup champion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually
that
will
Copa
be
And like a
cool.
competitive game, not some
yeah.
friendly or some
Exactly.
exhibition game.
Plus, Copa America is like right around the corner. So,
It really is.
Yeah.
It's a year and a half away.
Year and a half away.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
That you bring up a really good point, because I think going into that tournament, at least now, I'm gonna have very high expectations of Argentina, like very, very high. That first half against France, I don't think I've ever seen a team play that well in a knockout game. Seriously,
Ooh,
man.
okay.
That
Okay.
80 minutes.
Yeah,
maybe
80 minutes. You're right, 80 minutes.
Maybe
Yeah.
Germany, Brazil.
Yeah. Okay.
Germany when they killed.
Brazil was. They were
think
wide
that's more
open.
Okay,
Brazil.
you're talking about quality of
They were
opponent. now.
wide
Yeah,
open.
Okay.
But I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, especially we've talked about this before. The idea that finals are so gritty,
Yes.
they're so cagey because you just don't want to make a mistake. And both France and Argentina, you could tell, didn't want to make a mistake, but the fluidity that Argentina played with and the aggression they played when they didn't have the ball, I have never seen a team play like that. Not with that type of execution.
No. And I've said this before the game. I was telling myself, you know why I think that happened, the 80 minutes that we controlled? I think it's because at the end of the day, it came to who wanted to win that World Cup more.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was. Because when you look at level, they're both pretty equal. And you could even debate that France individually has a better squad.
Yeah.
But I think there's no country out there, no team out there that wanted the World Cup more as a country and indivially to help Messi win the World Cup.
Yeah.
Shit.
And
That's a low-key a little hit at Brazil. And I'm glad.
I'm gonna be that guy for a second. We're doing a lot of rightful Argentina praise, but France was a penalty shootout away from winning again.
Oh, I have a take about that
Yeah.
too.
Then let's get into that.
Yeah.
All
And just to clear this up though, the first point that you made starting this little conversation, if Argentina do go to the final in Copa America and actually win it, lift it once again, then yeah, this has to be arguably one of the best international teams just ever. Rivaling, the Germany little dynasty they had for a while,
More than
the
Germany,
Spanish dynasty. I'd say more
Maybe
than Germany
Spain,
for sure.
Spain level, yeah.
And
like
low key,
Brazil.
how good France is, or how those iconic Brazilian teams
Yes.
were back then. I think Argentina will have to be in that exact same conversation if they're not already close to being there. Honestly,
You know what's beautiful about this? That it could happen because a lot of times whenever a country wins a World Cup, it's because it's their golden generation, their really old experience. Look at this Argentina squad. Enzo Fernandez is 21.
Yeah.
McAllister, possibly one of the best players in the World Cup, at least for Argentina. 24. He just turned 24.
Yeah.
They've got so many great players out there that are in the mid-20s, if not young 20s.
Yeah, dude,
It's insane.
Alvarez, fucking Julian Alvarez.
We've
He's
got
gonna
striker
be
for a decade.
Yeah, you have a good one of probably the best number 9s right now
Exactly.
for a decade, and
Yeah.
he's only going to get a little bit better too because he still has a lot to learn, and he's got Pep and Holland right there teaching him.
Guardiola. Jesus.
Yes,
It's ridiculous.
I just I wonder what a Messi-less Argentina team looks like. I've never seen a team without Messi, honestly.
That's been a concern for
What
a
does that
lot of
look like, bro?
Argentinian people.
And I do think when it comes to winning tournaments, you need to have a difference maker of super high quality. And you've always had Messi for that. Who's Argentina? Who's going to be the next guy that will become? Will it be Julian Alvarez? Will it become like almost to that pedigree of Messi that can win them big games? We'll see.
Yeah, like where he scores every time he's on the pitch.
Yeah,
like he
yeah.
gets to that type of efficiency and lethalness.
Yeah,
that'd
like
be big.
obviously no one has a Messi, but they have close to it. Like Brazil has an Neymar.
Yeah.
France has an Mbappe. Who does Argentina have for that when Messi leaves will ultimately step up? There's a lot of good candidates. There's a lot of potential nominees. But I think that'll be a fun kind of storyline to follow for the following years to see who steps up.
I think I would even like just not even having a Messi replacement in terms of the leader of the team. I just like to have a team where everybody's, pretty well rounded, and then there's not really a leader. It's just everybody playing well.
But now to touch on the other side, because we're starting to see some comments here from the chat. Enrique Rios, good to see you again, my friend. He says, if you think about it, Soltero was a penalty shootout from being correct on his pick. And I do think that has to be pointed out, how close Argentina did come to essentially collapsing, man. Despite them playing absolutely beautiful football and being rewarded or being deserving of the World Cup at the end of the day, they still fiddled with potentially losing that and dealing with tragedy. I want to hear two things: your emotions when all that happened, but also your thoughts on that overall and how you feel about how close you got.
Yeah, and that's why I was actually pretty comfortable in conceding the fact that Argentina could lift the World Cup after beating the Netherlands, because that game proved to me that the margins are paper thin at the World Cup. Paper thin. Again, even that one, they had to win in a penalty shootout and a game that they were up 2-0 and a crazy equalizer from the Netherlands to take it into extra time and eventually into penalties. It was absolutely ridiculous. And that's when I realized, I was like, okay, if you have a player like Messi, then he can take you anywhere. And you can go as far as he specifically wants to go, because Messi, for me, was the man of the match for Argentina in every single game. And that's considering that they still had players like McAllister, Fernandez, and Alvarez just playing out of their fucking minds. Dude.
Yes.
But Messi still played above them, which is ridiculous considering his age, everything that he's been through, all of the pressure. And that's why, for me, he is the definitive GOAT. But honestly, I wasn't that far off. I really wasn't.
You were.
I really wasn't. If Messi's not on that pitch, I don't even think they get to semis. I really don't think so.
I can agree with that.
But then that's the thing, though. I should have taken into account that Messi is Messi, the GOAT. But he wasn't my definitive GOAT going into this tournament, but he is absolutely now. And then not only that, to take away that Messi thing, I had a criticism for Otamendi, for example. And he bit so hard on that Kylian Mbappe over the head, that little pass from Colomwani that took him over Otamendi and straight to Mbappe's feet with a beautiful finish. But Otamendi bit so hard when he didn't need to, because they were still 25 yards out. They didn't need to put that much pressure, and then it completely opened up for Mbappe, and then you know what happened after that. And then if France go on to win that game, I easily could have just been like, Otamendi is, not the defender that Argentina needed in the big moment. But that's how tiny the margins are.
Man.
I was just on the other side. So at the end of the day, honestly, I think my takes were, they came from like a good place.
Yeah.
It came with good intention, and in my opinion, pretty good analysis, because from what happened throughout Argentina throughout this entire tournament was pure growth, and that's something I'll never take away from them. But they're still a little bit mistake-ridden for sure. But then again, It's the World fucking Cup, and literally anything can happen. Especially in this edition, that confirmed it for me, man.
Yeah.
Because
this one was
especially
nuts.
this one.
Especially
Yeah,
this
this one
one,
was
man.
nuts.
Especially this one. And we talked about it before, but that Saudi Arabia game, them beating them in the opener when Argentina went on a crazy unbeaten run, man. Like, what the hell was that? Like, honestly.
It's a fever dream, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
Like,
real.
did it even happen?
Yeah.
It makes no sense. But at the end of the day, what is fact is Argentina did win it, and I was wrong. I was wrong on my pick. So factually, I did get it wrong, and I will always concede that. Trust me, I'll be respectful.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I will
yeah,
be
yeah, of
respectful.
course, of course. And that's the fun in it. But also, dude, like, we didn't mention a Kolomuani opportunity that forced
Oh, my
one
God.
of the greatest saves of all time.
Yeah.
I have that picture printed out. As soon as he
Yo.
said it, I promise I have it
You
in my
have
room.
to.
Dude,
I
I'd
have it in
pray
my
to
room.
it every day if I
Yeah.
were you, bro.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My heart dropped. I swear.
Dude.
I saw. Whenever
wide
people
open.
say whenever you see your whole life flash before your eyes. I saw everything that Messi and this Argentina team has gone through in the last 10 years. I promise I saw it all when the ball was going down, when he shot it. And I like, this sounds like I'm making it up. I promise I saw everything.
scary.
My heart dropped right here to my stomach. And then Dibu. I've already talked about this somewhere else, but the most important save in football history, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
I think so.
No, football history,
Yeah.
man.
Just because of the legacy, not just winning the World Cup, but winning it for Messi as well.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow,
no,
that's
the-
a good point.
Yeah.
There's so much
Because
on
the
the
only
line
thing
there.
that can compare, first of all, nothing club football can compare, because club football is one thing, World Cup is another, right? So what other thing can compare? Casillas' save against,
Right?
against
I think
Robin.
that's the only other one.
Okay, that's a good one.
There's the Buffon's. I think he saved a really good save in 2006.
2006.
Yeah, but it's like, but none of them were at the 123rd minute.
Yeah, man. No,
in
seriously.
a goal that could have given them the cup.
Yeah.
And it was a good shot, bro.
Yeah,
it was a
it
good
wasn't
shot.
bad. Yeah,
There's a
yeah,
lot
it
of
wasn't
pace
bad.
behind it.
Yeah.
Ah, God, man.
Yeah.
But the paper thing is getting me right now because you talk about that opportunity, the Otamendi messing up as well. Brazil, for me, the way they went out, that showed me how paper thin the World Cup is.
Yeah.
That they could just go out like that, despite them, in my opinion, being the better team throughout 120 full minutes, going up with 5 minutes left. Like, that's paper thin, bro.
Yeah.
There's so many tight margins in the World Cup, but somehow Argentina came out on top.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's the beauty of it, and it's just what makes the tournament just so attractive overall.
Yeah.
Hey,
Absolutely.
Pace having a great goalkeeper in penalty, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that I've
We haven't
never
talked about
considered.
Dibu.
Yeah, I've never considered that idea that you need a good shot stopper to just be effective in penalties. But seeing how just timid Lloris was between the sticks, and then you had the immediate contrasting comparison with Dibu Martinez,
They
I was
were the
like, oh,
complete
fuck.
opposite.
Yeah.
The complete
Yeah,
opposite.
Yeah, Lloris was one of the worst.
One of the
penalties.
worst.
Yeah.
There was no hope for him to save a penalty during that shootout. Bro.
Oh, man.
None.
But I love Diva so much because one thing is being a great penalty stopper or just a great shot stopper. But when it comes to the psychology behind everything that he does, to get in that player's mind, it's incredible. There's people, there's analysts or psychology analysts who broke down every single thing that Dibu Martinez did in every chance that he had in those penalty shootouts, and he does more than you think. And it's insane. It's insane.
He works overtime.
He
Yeah,
does.
yeah,
No, he
yeah,
does.
no,
Yeah, he
for
does
sure.
so
Yeah,
much
yeah.
extras
For
between the sticks that, again, I never realized that it's actually a huge plus if you have a keeper like that. And then I realized most keepers aren't that type of character, or they don't do as much homework as Martinez, or they're just not as active. And the thing is, it's more of like a mental game. And Martinez got in my head. That's the thing. That's how effective he was. Through the screen digitally, I was like, oh, fuck, he can't be stopped.
Yeah.
That's how good he is.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, I wonder what that's about. I wonder if, because it's kind of, I don't know if classless is the word, but a lot of keepers don't fiddle with that because they weren't taught to be like that.
Right.
But it makes sense that Dibu is from Argentina, where there's a little bit more shit talking behind everything. There's more passion. And so he becomes this like menacing character. But a lot of goalkeepers, like, I don't know, like an Alisson, I don't really see him chirp like that. Ederson, I don't see it either.
That's true.
John Oblak, I've never seen him
No,
talk like
I don't
that.
think. I think he's mute.
I don't know. I think it's kind of ingrained in Dibu to be that way. It might be a once in a keeper type of situation. I don't know if we'll see it again.
But yeah, without Dibu, those penalty shootouts become a 50-50. With Dibu, it's a 75-25.
Yes.
Yeah.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
all the shit talking, the actual talking, the throwing the ball away, there's so many things he does. Yeah. Even whenever he celebrates, it's insane. Whenever he celebrates stopping a shot, his celebrations have proven statistically to intimidate the goalkeeper that is walking to the goal just because he's celebrating right next to them. It's insane. I feel like maybe it's overthinking it, but everything is calculated. It's because I saw this one video where like this analyst literally broke down. He's a psychology major, whatever. So he broke down every single thing that he did. And it's insane.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Huh. I believe it. I 100%
how much
believe
was
it.
true. Maybe other parts are reaching, but I wonder. Yeah.
No.
Last thoughts on Argentina World Cup, anything related to that before we flip over to, I guess, current football?
It hasn't settled. Like it hasn't. I can't believe I'm here talking about Argentina winning the World Cup and Messi actually lifting the World Cup. It's insane. Yeah. I didn't believe it the day of. I didn't believe it the night of. Whenever we celebrated for hours, because we were celebrating the very morning. Yeah. The next day. Now that I'm here, it's been a whole month actually since Argentina won, and it hasn't settled. I can't believe it. I'm talking because I have to, but like I can't, and I've had time to think about it. Like Argentina are world champions, Messi's the world champion. And
you've been waking up happy and shit?
Yeah, bro, my life is insanely happy right now. Everything's great. I don't have any problems that you could have. It's like tiny stuff, like everyday problems that ruin your day in the beginning of the day.
Yeah.
I don't care. Like whatever, I'll deal with it. It's insane.
Oh my God,
my girlfriend catches me in a good mood.
Always.
She's wondering why. And
Always, man. Always.
It's insane.
Anything from you?
No, that is just crazy, and I think it's going to be one of those things where it'll be like 20 years from now, Argentina's going through like a low phase, but then you can just pull up your phone and look at 2022 and just have a fucking smile on your face, because not only did you witness it, but you're a huge part of it, especially with your your Instagram and all of your channel and all what you do with football. So you were so into it that it'll just be, it's like a part of you now. Yeah, like you don't have to think about it; it just is in you.
Yeah,
and then that's something I hope I experience. Yeah, maybe once in my life. Maybe.
What team winning would give you that? Costa Rica, USA, Mexico, any CONCACAF team?
I think I'd say any CONCACAF team. Any CONCACAF team would for sure give me something like that.
Yeah, for me it'd definitely be Mexico. Definitely. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, we're going to transition over to our news segment. This is something new that we're introducing to our live streams, where we're going to be looking at just the most notable things happening in world football right now, little anecdotes, little titles. And if you want, you can react and tell me what you think about them. And if not, we can just move on to the next one. And we're going to stay in the international realm with a new hiring. Yeah. Fernando Santos getting sacked from Portugal and now being replaced by Roberto Martinez, the failed coach at Belgium, is now being handed the keys to one of Portugal's deepest generations.
Yeah, it's a weird signing when you say those exact words, because Martinez failed, man. Yep. He had the best Belgian squad ever, and by a large margin too, because, dude, from like 2014 to 2018, Belgium just looks stacked. And everyone always said Belgium's going deep in this tournament. Belgium's going to the final in the Euros. They're going to go to the final in the World Cup. And they did get somewhat far on a couple of occasions, but they just could never make it to that final step. And the thing is, I think Martinez overstayed his welcome. I think it was super apparent in this last World Cup, because Belgium literally did not give a fuck in the group stage. And for Portugal, after what they just kind of went through with a disappointing World Cup, for them to go with Martinez, I don't like it. Yeah, I think it's pretty bizarre. Yes, he does have the pedigree to coach big names, but has it worked? Has it realistically worked? I'm going to be a little harsh here and say no. Is it a step up maybe from Santos? Possibly. You could definitely argue that. But even then, Portugal low-key are like the same thing. Quarterfinal, semifinal type of team. Yes, they did win it in 2016. Which was low-key a robbery against France, but they did deserve it. But other than that, man, Portugal have consistently disappointed. And so I don't know if Martinez is going to change that. I'm curious to see how he approaches this, though. Yeah. Because he's still got Ronaldo kind of lurking. I wonder if he's going to, talk to him, bring him back. Honestly, I don't even know what the move would be if I was coach. I don't even know if I'd look at Ronaldo.
I know Roberto Martinez has already said in interviews that he's like, hey, it's me in the background. that he's like he plans to kind of respect Ronaldo better than how Santos respected him or disrespected him in
But
that
I wonder
sense.
what that means, because you're gonna have a player 38, 30, going into this Euros. I think he's gonna be 39. A player that will be 2 years in playing Saudi Arabian football. And
Yeah,
you have so many other young talents out there that you can play.
it feels like a politician being like just being selected to be the new president, being like, hey, I'm gonna free college students of all debt. Like just kind of saying things that will win people over, despite them not being the smartest moves to make. To me, it sounded like he was a little out of tune with the team for him to just be so pro Ronaldo right off the back, man. So
Just telling them what they want to hear.
yeah,
maybe?
that's essentially what I'm seeing.
That's
That's
what it
that's
sounds
classic
like.
Roberto Martinez. I feel like he's just a politician at the end of the day for Belgium and not Portugal.
Yeah.
But he got hired there, and likewise, another big move in both the international and club stage is the retirement of Real Madrid legend, and you could also say Tottenham legend, Gareth Bale. He has laced up his boots or hung up his boots and decided to leave the game after an incredible career, I believe at the age of 33 years old now.
33.
Lastly, playing for LAFC as well as representing Wales on the World Cup stage. I guess his last match officially was that, 3-0 loss against England in the group stage then.
Oh, shit. Yeah. Yeah.
But at the club level, goes out an absolute champion, winning the MLS trophy with LAFC and scoring the game
I think for the first time in history, right? Maybe.
for LAFC.
LFC? Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
it
yeah.
is.
So, yeah.
So
Yeah.
at the club level, he goes out as an absolute hero.
Yeah.
And same at the international level, taking Wales to their first World Cup in like 60 plus years.
Yeah.
Gareth Bale has been incredible, an incredible British player that has had a hell of a legacy, a very controversial one, I would say, with how it's often debated what his impact was like at the Real Madrid stage. A lot of people expected more from him. He was very injury prone, but when he did play, and especially in those finals, he was ridiculous, man. Iconic. And some of those goals he scored were incredible. I remember the one he scored against Barcelona where he ran on the fucking touchline, ran around Marco, the defender, I can't remember his name.
Bartra.
Bartra. That run was insane, just showcasing his speed, his ability to just get past the player and deciding in that moment, I'm going to get a fucking goal in this final. And that he did, man. That he did. An absolute banger. The one I try to forget a lot is the fucking Chilena he scored against my beautiful Liverpool in a Champions League final. A Liverpool team that was so hot in that tournament. Got their hopes and dreams shut down by Gareth Bale that day and ended up scoring a brace in that match. So overall, what a player, what a legacy. Thank you, Gareth.
Yeah, thank you.
And we'll see you soon, man.
I'm going to be a little bit of a party killer right here. Yes, thank you, Gareth. Beautiful moments. When you look at his career on paper, everything he accomplished, even his highlights, his goals, his everything, amazing, right? But there's something out there that he finished his career at 33, and you always knew that he could have given more. I feel like he had everything within him to be the third best player of this generation. If you really wanted to, he had it.
Oh, wow. Like
You
a
know,
Neymar.
Yeah, exactly. Like a Neymar level. He could have.
Oh.
Yeah, when you look at the trajectory when he left Tottenham, he was headed towards being like a Neymar, being the best player of his generation, probably right behind Messi and Neymar. It could have been Bale. And obviously he was a part of that big three, Benzema, Bale, and Cristiano at Real Madrid, who did win, so many Champions Leagues, and he was so good in those big games. But yes, I remember watching Madrid during all of Bale's career, and at just not the big games, just regular La Liga games, or even just decent Champions League games. He just kind of was there.
Yeah.
And he would attack and he'd dazzle, but I always felt, I agree, he could do so much more. And he kind of made up for it by showing up in so many finals, and then obviously taking Wales to a crazy 2016 Euro run, and then finally taking to the World Cup after 60 years. So that definitely does help. But I agree, Bale could have been something else, man. But yeah, like,
Damn. Y'all are convincing me, man. Holy shit.
it's just because I don't know what he lost when he went from Britain, or I guess England to Spain, but something left him.
I think that he lost a little bit of love for the sport because of how mistreated he was by the Madrid fans, because he wasn't exactly performing. He got booed, and that's something that he maybe wasn't used to in England.
Yeah.
And then the whole thing started with Wales, golf, Madrid in that order.
Could you say though that maybe the prowess of a character like Ronaldo in a way kind of brought him down, and contrary to how Neymar being alongside like a Messi lifted him up and he kind of utilized that to become a better player. I wonder if Bale would have become a better player if he was never paired with Ronaldo. If during those prime years he had just the stage for himself. I wonder if that played a psychological role, because I've seen clips of him kind of not complain but be surprised by the fact that Real Madrid fans were booing him at times for his performances. And he was just like shocked by it, because he was like, damn, I've always been used to the people that support the club supporting me. Yeah. But it kind of represents, I guess, a slightly faulty psychological factor that he had that didn't let him rise to the ranks of Messi or Ronaldo. Perhaps.
A lot of players, whenever they get booed, they perform better. Ibrahimovic, Ronaldo. Yeah. Bale maybe wasn't used to that kind of thing, that kind of treatment, and it only made him play worse. And he admits to that. I actually posted that clip, so maybe that's how you got it. Yeah. So I posted it today, and so he admits to, like, obviously that gets to you. We're footballers were people after all. That got to him, and I think he lost the love for the sport eventually. I mean, he ended up in MLS at age 32. Yeah. Modric just 38, still at the top.
Still at the top.
Yeah, that definitely does have to do with passion and love for the sport.
I think he lost the passion. And he's 33. It's insane.
Yeah. Damn, but still achieved so much, and I agree with some of these comments I'm seeing here. Best British player of all time.
Yeah, I mean, because at the end of the day, he was a Galactico. When Madrid bought him, it was because he was one of the best forwards, or I guess wingers, just in Europe. Yeah. So, yeah, it makes sense. I mean, and again, the contributions that he ultimately gave them, I think, does make him a little underrated, because he does get a lot of hate. But at the end of the day, one other thing that really did get me, though, is, and this also might be down to genetics, too, because...
Oh, shit. What are we talking
about? Bale, like, there's a moment where Bale kind of got a little bit bigger. Because at Tottenham, dude, he was like a toothpick.
A twig.
He was like a twig, but that allowed him to be so fucking fast. And then when he kind of transitions to Madrid, like in his mid-20s, he bulked up, but maybe to his detriment. And then hearing the boos, understanding that, like, shit, they don't love me as much as they did back home, I think it just kind of compounded. Like, both his physical aspect and then obviously the mental aspect just did not go Gareth Bale's way at all. Because, yes, he still was a pacey player, but he used it a lot less. And I mean a lot less. He became a much better passer, I would say, at Madrid, but he still had the pedigree to penetrate. He just did it way less. Because at Tottenham, he was just 100% all the time. And then he kind of changed his game at Madrid, and also maybe that played to the fact that he just maybe didn't like the tactics as much. I don't know.
No, that's a great point as well. Yeah. Damn. Well, his career ends at 33, and that's going to be it for Gareth Bale. And now Wales has a very interesting future in the mix for them as well, with no longer having that leader to carry them in these big international matches. But moving on, I think a notable piece of news that made me kind of chuckle when I saw it was because we talked about this specific player in depth last time all three of us were sitting at this table. And then this really prominent piece of news comes alive once again when we're scheduled to see each other again. And that's Joao Felix, man. It's funny. We talked about Joao Felix last time about should he leave Atletico? Yeah. And the take you had back then, I think, is going to be the same take that you're going to respond with in regards to this piece of news, which is he is being loaned out to Chelsea for, I believe, 10 plus million for just 6 months. But he's being loaned out to play in the Premier League, and is just going to be added to that already deep attacking front that Chelsea has, with just numerous options for them to play with. Joao Felix is joining that, and I'll truly be interested to see how he performs in this setting.
Yeah, he's going to look good in blue. I'll definitely say he's going to look really good in that Chelsea blue. But yeah, my sentiment remains the same. The Felix experiment at Atletico has been weird. It just hasn't worked. And it's been underwhelming, but on both ends. Player end, and I think just coaching staff end with Diego Simeone and the way that he likes to play. What's frustrating, though, is that Simeone does like free playmakers. I think Griezmann is a perfect example of that. Griezmann played his best football actually under Diego Simeone back between 2014 and 2017. So who's to say why Felix couldn't have that same type of success? The problem is that Felix, I think, was just so young, and he had such a big price tag. I think neither coach nor player knew exactly what he was supposed to do on the pitch. Because Griezmann, when he came to Atletico, he was a playmaker, but he also was a good finisher. what was Felix at Benfica? He was good at finishing. Was he a good dribbler? Was he a good passer? He kind of was, but it wasn't his main style of play like Griezmann when he came to Atletico. So I think Felix himself had to figure out what did he want to be really good at on the pitch. Because yes, he has really good skill and he's really good on the ball, and he's cheeky. He's a flair type of player, really sneaky and just a good dribble penetrator in general. But what did Simeone want?
Yeah.
What did he want a dribbler? He already kind of had that in Carrasco. But the thing is with Carrasco is that he does that defensive duties. He's a wingback. Felix ain't no wingback. He's not supposed to defend. But Simeone likes his wingers to defend and his central guys to kind of roam. That's why I think Griezmann worked out, because Griezmann's a central player all day long.
Hard.
Whereas Felix is just supposed to be an out-and-out winger. And that just didn't work for Simeone. What's frustrating, though, is that there was a moment in time where I did think, where I did believe that Felix was going to figure it out. That he was just going to be like, look, Simeone, I'm not going to defend, but it's because I can score 20 goals a season. Yeah. And if he did do that, Simeone would have conceded. He'd be like, all right, fuck it. You don't have to defend because you're just banging in goals for us. But he just never did. And he missed some big opportunities. He got injured. I remember, I think a year and a half ago, that kept him out for a couple months. That did not help at all. And it's just been hard for him to get consistent minutes or to play consistently well for Atletico. So for all of those reasons, man, I'm actually glad he's going, not for Atletico, but for Felix himself.
Yeah, it's time.
It's time.
It's time.
He's been here for 3.5 years now.
Yeah. And if anything, I think he's going to thrive in the Prem, bro.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be an incredible player, just breaking lines, being so tough to deal with. I remember in the Champions League when he did face off against Premier League teams, he faced off against a really good Man City team. I think just last season or last year or 2 seasons ago in the knockout stages, and he was a menace, dude. He was causing so many problems to that defense and that midfield, just constantly on the attack. So hard to get when he gets a little bit of speed behind him. He can just get past you. He's so nimble, and then he's very smart as well if he has those attacking options. But like you said, I think the responsibility given to him at Atletico wasn't the right responsibility, and he just wasn't ultimately utilized in the way that maximizes his talents the best. So good for him. Do you think that after this loan spell ends that he'll be looking for somewhere to go, or do you think he'll continue his time at Atletico?
There's actually rumors that the only reason that he's going for 6 months is because Simeone might get sacked come the end of the season, or they're already planning that they're going to go separate ways.
Wow.
So he's like, okay, I don't excel under Simeone. Let me go play my football somewhere else. Let me develop well as a player. And by the time I'm back, I'll be under someone who could actually push me and make me the player that I'm supposed to be.
Dang, that'll be really interesting if Simeone ends up, I guess, either getting sacked or just leaving by mutual consent, whatever it is at the end of the season.
Damn,
that'll be really, really interesting, because that's another thing that's just frustrating in general, is that not only just for Simeone, but Atletico as a squad have been on the decline for 5 years now. And Felix joined them right at the start of that decline. So as a player, you're trying to up your game slowly year by year, but the whole squad that you're on is declining year by year. So it just didn't work out on all fronts.
He's falling with them, yeah.
Yeah, he's falling with them. And I know it's really trust me, it's fucking frustrating. I think for everybody that's Atleti involved. So again, I'm really glad he's going, and whether he comes back or not, I think it'll actually just depend on the coaching situation, but also if he has a good time. And I don't even mean by scoring a lot of goals at Chelsea, but if he's just freer, doesn't have to do as much defending, is just able to express himself, kind of like we saw for Portugal at this World Cup. If we see that type of version of Felix, he's not going to want to go back. He'll beg for any other move to either maybe a bigger Spanish team or just another Premier League team, or maybe he stays at Chelsea if he ends up doing really, really well. Either way, though, honestly, I just don't see Felix coming back if he has even remote fun in
I don't see. I agree. I'd have to go so bad for him at Chelsea to not be enticed by the lights and action of the Premier League.
Yeah, but that's realistic, because actually Chelsea are 10th place right now. They're not playing the best football. They don't have a good striker up front.
That's the thing. The situation at Chelsea is shit right now. And it makes no sense. It's just crazy how much money the Premier League has, bro. Because the fact, when you look at how many players they get every single transfer window, and they're just able to be like, 10 million for 6 months? That's a lot of money, man. Nuts. It's nuts. And they've already changed the coach this season. They've already tried to change the squad in general in the summer. And now they're just adding another star player just because they can.
How much was Guignac?
I don't know.
Like when he got him from Tigres?
When he got to Tigres.
Producer Raheem looked this up for me because I got a point to make. Look up the price tag for Gignac, Gignac, to Tigres.
He may have come on a free. He probably ended his contract in France, and he was just looking for suitors, and Tigres came knocking. And they probably gave him a good salary, though, because Tigres do pay well.
Yeah. Because you got me thinking with the idea of, $10 million for 6 months. If Gignac was anywhere around that price, a Liga MX club paid nearly $10 million for 6 years.
Yes. It's an investment when other clubs pay that type of money, man.
Bro.
They have to really think about it. They can't just spend even $10 million, even though in today's terms that's not a lot. It's not a lot because the Premier League teams just keep paying 50, 60, 70 million
They've
for any
normalized
type
it.
of. They've normalized it, but other clubs just cannot cope.
Damn, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just an example of how much utility you can get out of a certain amount of money.
Yeah.
And when Chelsea's just throwing it around like that, it kind of rubs me the wrong way when you think about Liga MX teams, Argentine teams, Brazilian teams, how much money they have to play with and how much they make and do with it. God, dude.
Yeah.
It's such a difference.
Oh, my God.
4.5 million right now, increases 6 million.
So, that's
correct,
his salary.
Yeah, his salary.
Which is a lot. Like for Mexico.
We're good. But okay, we're going to move on to one last piece of news, which I saw a super chat about. We were asked to talk about the legacy of Pelé. Pelé, who passed away during this little break that we had. 82 years old, man. 82 years old. A hell of a legacy. One of the greatest football players of all time. To many people, the greatest player of all time, with what he was able to achieve for the sport, what he was able to achieve for the Brazilian culture, for the Brazilian international team on the World Cup stage. To this day, the only player with 3 World Cup trophies to his name, and your favorite player's favorite player. Every move you see a player of high quality make generated and originated from Pelé and what he was able to do during the upbringing of this sport back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. Even playing in the what you could call nowadays the MLS at one point, man.
Yeah.
He was a true innovator, a incredible talent, and most of all, a great person. Very humble and very unique for his way of being, just the way he carried himself, paying respects to the players of today, especially when you see an older person still show love for the youthful talent and not hate on it. And he was a big indicator of that as well. So overall, man, rest in peace, Pelé. And I just wanted to give him a quick little shout out on the podcast because he's a big icon of this sport.
Yeah. Y'all see that post from Neymar?
Yes.
That actually moved me reading it. He basically, to paraphrase, he said, Pelé did make number 10 popular, but he was so much more than that. He put Brazil on the map just socioeconomically, culturally, and then he made football popular. Yeah. He made it like a people's sport because coming from nothing and everyone seeing that in the World Cups back then, they realized football's it. You can be in Cameroon, you can be in Malaysia, you can be in Brazil, you could be in the U.S., you could be in Mexico, and you can play the same goddamn sport that Pelé is, and you can have the same type of glory. And that's really beautiful because it makes sense. He's a player's player. Everyone talks about Pelé, and now I know why, because the cultural impact and how good he was back then, it's remarkable, man. He's left an incredible legacy on this planet.
Yeah. Everyone that us young kids idolize Pelé.
Yeah.
It's insane.
That's an insane
That's
statement.
insane.
That's insane. Yeah. That's an insane statement, man. Rest in peace, man. Rest in peace. And I think that does it for the news segment for now. We're going to move on over to match previews, talking about some notable games happening at the club level this upcoming week, so that next week when we stream and when we're live again, we can talk about the results and about our predictions in regards to these games. So I'm going to just throw up a few games. We're going to get a few producer Rudd polls here, and I want to see what the chat thinks about who will win these matches and who's going to come out on top. So I think the first thing that comes up soonest is the Super Cup semifinals.
Oh, yeah.
With La Liga does a first and second place of La Liga facing off against first and second place of Copa del Rey, a really interesting mini tournament.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's going to see Valencia face off against Real Madrid and Barcelona face off against Betis. I want to know right off the bat who you guys think will win between Valencia and Real Madrid. Real quick, will it be Valencia? Will it be Real Madrid? And will you guys be watching the Super Cup?
You might as well, just because it's happening.
Yeah,
But
Possibly.
big names
I've
involved.
been watching a lot of Valencia, and they can't exactly get.
Cavani.
Yeah, that's why. They can't exactly get what they want to do up front. Right. Gattuso is kind of testing things out, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I think they just come from losing 2 games. One of them at home against Cadiz. So, and
Ooh, that's
Valencia
bad.
is the kind of team that needs to, compete for European spots. Maybe not Champions League, but at least Europa League. They're 10th place right now.
Yeah, they're having
Yeah.
a horrible season.
Yeah.
So much so that I only see Madrid winning this game.
Yeah.
Like there's just no way, unless maybe
Yeah.
Madrid play their B team, but I don't know why they would. Especially
trophy.
since they technically had a month off because of the World Cup.
Mhm.
So
I think, if anything, this tournament will be indicative of a little bit of the quality drop that is happening in La Liga. We were
yeah.
talking about this past week, where if you're not Real Madrid or Barcelona, you're not doing very well. Maybe you could throw in Real Sociedad, but even then, man, even then, we're seeing some really bad teams right now in La Liga. And shit, I mean, even Real Madrid is coming off of a loss against Villarreal.
Yeah.
They're not in the best form as well.
Yeah.
Sevilla.
So, yeah.
Oh,
Sevilla in
Jesus.
relegation, dude.
2 days ago, they were in relegation zone. They won.
They won,
they're
right?
like
Yeah.
17th now, but still. Yeah.
God, dude, that's so
Yeah.
weird.
So
is.
it's
It's
so
so
weird, yeah.
Yeah.
But they're playing so bad. When you see them play, they're pretty bad.
Wow. Obviously, the chat thinks Real Madrid wins this one. All right, cool. And then Barcelona versus Real Betis as well. Are we seeing a Barcelona-Real Madrid final here?
I think so. Although I will
yeah.
say Betis they always have like a 20% chance of having a really good game.
Okay.
If they're in that 1-5 on that day, then I think they can keep it tight, maybe even winning the game.
Yeah.
Barcelona, I think, are just still going through that transitionary phase, and it could show. But overall, Barcelona definitely are favored.
Yeah, I
so
think so.
I'm going to say El Clásico for the final.
Yeah. Probably me too. Hey, winning a trophy would help this Barcelona side a lot. The one thing they need. Yeah. Because like you said, they're like kind of transforming right now. They're going through a little bit of a thing going on. If they can win a trophy, that would help their morale a lot. Even if it's just a European UEFA Super Cup.
That's true, because
Yeah.
it would at least say that, all right, we spent so much
Yeah.
money in the summer, we at least won something.
Yeah.
And to do it against Madrid, which it's looking like it will be, that would even be more, better
Yeah.
for them, just be a
Yeah.
little icing on the cake for them.
Especially
Absolutely.
right now, they
Completely.
have a little bit of an edge. Over them with this Real Madrid loss to Villarreal.
Yes.
This
Yeah.
is probably the first time this season where they can actually like take good advantage of them. And it would be a bit psychological jump if they're able to beat Real Madrid in the final. But if one of these teams loses in the semis and we get Real Betis or Valencia in the final, then it's back. It's game on once again. I mean, we're just back to the same question of who's going to win the goddamn league.
Yeah.
Viewers are predicting Barcelona wins this one easily. So we're seeing a Real Madrid-Barcelona final. Perfect. And we'll check back on that when the final comes. For now, another match that will happen. We actually have some interesting club games because it's basically rivalry week in the Premier League.
Oh,
With
really?
two derbies happening.
Oh,
with
nice.
Manchester United facing off against Manchester City, man. Yeah, let's get a little excited here. Yeah,
Last game that they faced was insane. It was a joy to watch for any neutrals. It was the Man City destroying them. I think it was like 6-2 in total.
That was the last time?
I think that was the last time they faced each other. The
think
first
so.
time in the Premier League this season.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
So
But,
that was
dude.
pretty fun to watch. I hope the same thing happens.
Yeah. I think that Manchester United is coming into this game as well as they've ever been like in the past 3-4 years.
Rashford's going off.
Yeah.
Rashford.
And he's the thing is, we finally saw him have really good performances with England in the World Cup, and he hasn't stopped that. Dude, he's so lethal in front of goal, and I think we're finally seeing, hopefully, the Rashford that was supposed to be at United like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
He's been talked about so much, but he's always slightly underwhelmed. But his finishing this year, man, has been top notch.
he's incredible.
So if he can get in front of goal, I think United will have a chance. Overall, I think it's going to be obviously a really feisty affair. United really are in such good form right now. Maybe the Ten Hag effect is finally
love to
taking
see
over
that.
United.
I would love to
and
see
it's
that.
he's finally imposing his coaching tactics on this team. And not only that, more importantly, though, I think the players are actually believing in it. And I think that's been the biggest problem for United's team for the longest time, man. They go through so many weird spells with coaches, and usually it just ends with them mutinying against the coach. But finally, it seems like Ten Hag, even though he had somewhat of a shaky start, not even that bad, I think the people are finally getting behind him just fully.
I hate to be that guy, but a certain player left, and maybe that's why helping them now. There's no pressure, there's no drama behind the scenes. Now everybody's playing at their best. They are in a pretty good form right now. They won today, and I mean they're definitely a lot better now than they were last time when City beat them.
Yeah.
So,
They'll be the underdogs, so you should bet on them.
maybe. I'm done with betting.
Obviously, now here gambling, man. But still, Man City is Man City, and they're coming off of a 4-0 trashing
Oh,
of Chelsea.
They
who-
killed them, man.
Good God, man.
Killed them.
Buried
Such
them
a
in the
one-sided
dust.
game. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Incredible.
So we could very easily see Manchester City just come out on top in this game and fully remind Manchester United of who's the best team
Yeah.
in the region.
The thing is, though, regardless of what's at stake for United, City have to win this game.
There's
Yeah.
a good
They
title.
have to
Yeah.
win this game. Not for United, but for Arsenal, man. They have to keep up that title race. Any loss of points, man, is going to be super detrimental. And that goes for Arsenal too, man.
Yes.
So City, take away the emotions of this game. Anything but a win is a complete failure for them if they're going for the title.
Most tense Manchester derby in a hot minute. I completely agree. And likewise, Arsenal will be facing off against Tottenham. Manchester City predicted to win that matchup 71% to 29%. We're going to move on to the next game. Arsenal versus Tottenham. So Arsenal will be facing off against a feisty opponent as well, where they have to play their best to be able to get the result. Who wins this one, boys? Who wins this one? Arsenal coming in hot, leading the Premier League table right now, and having Man City on their back by, I believe, 7 points right now. But what do you guys envision happening here?
I'm gonna go Arsenal. I love watching teams that not only get the results but also play beautiful. So it's been a joy watching this Arsenal side just keep on being in the top of the table. So I hope it continues.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Arsenal have been phenomenal this year. The thing is, even though they did get that draw against Newcastle about a week ago, other than that, they have not really showed any signs of slowing down, no matter who they've really faced. Now, of course, they haven't faced Man City yet. But I think this game against Tottenham, honestly, I think Tottenham is disappointed this season.
Yeah.
Richarlison has he even scored realistically in the Premier League for Antonio Conte? He hasn't worked out. Yves Bissouma's barely gotten any playing time, man. I think Heung-min Son's just having an interesting year. Not bad. Kane's good. Kane's actually really good this year. But it's just not enough, And I argued that at the beginning that when you compare Tottenham's midfield to Arsenal's midfield, there's just no creativity really in Tottenham's. And I think it's really showing, especially if you're trying to win games over a 38-game season, man. You need players who can craft something out of nothing. Players that can penetrate, break lines. Every single outfield player for Arsenal that's not in that back four can go past a singular player, any player in the Premier League. I can't say the same thing for Tottenham. So I think it'll be a feisty affair, but I think I'm definitely favoring Arsenal in this one, and I think most people should too, man, because Arsenal are trying to do something special this year, and you really should get behind it. I'm so excited to see what they can do, and I just pray to God that they keep it up.
Yeah, I'm going Arsenal here, but I actually want to highlight a player that has stepped up in the absence of Gabriel Jesus. Nketiah? Nketiah, man. He's really surprised me because the moment I found out the news piece about Jesus being out for like 2-3 months or a long time, I was like, fuck, dude. Is Nketiah good enough to fulfill that gap that is needed? And it's clear that Arsenal does need that player up top to finish all those opportunities that they're able to create. And so far, in both the Premier League and the I believe it's the FA Cup. He's been able to step up and doing well, getting a brace in the FA Cup, coming into this big match in really good form. I wonder if he'll get the start, but if he does, I could see it being because of Arteta having that confidence in him now to deliver for him when it's needed.
Yeah.
So
it's going to be interesting because whenever you lose Gabriel Jesus, you're not only losing goals, you're losing everything else that he creates. He's been great. He's been a good chance creator. But I think Nketiah has that in him. Because, for the game that you brought up, whenever he scored a brace, he only had two. We need to bring up, he only had 2 chances to score a goal. And in those 2, he converted. But not only is he a great finisher, but I think he can fulfill that Gabriel Jesus role. Maybe not as good as him.
Maybe not as good, but
just
enough.
Hold him off until Gabriel Jesus comes back. But I think he's the guy to do so.
I love it, man. The Premier League title race is going to be at the forefront this weekend, and that's already so fun. Yeah. And I love that it's Man City who's chasing it now. We'll get to see Man City.
Yeah, I love it.
See who they're truly made of with this. Haaland on pace for 40 fucking goals.
Can you imagine Haaland goes on to score the 35, 40 goals and he still doesn't win?
Dude,
that would be crazy.
That would be insane. That would be insane. Meanwhile, Arsenal's top scorer has like 9.
Right. But they have like 5 guys on 9. That'd be insane.
Dude, Haaland has more goals than Chelsea.
Yeah.
In the Prem.
God,
Jesus,
dude.
Yeah.
It's God.
Crazy, man.
All right. Well, we're gonna quickly shift over to Serie A because I do consider that probably the second most fun league to watch right now in Europe, dude.
Yeah.
This league is so dope this year with Napoli leading the line, but grabbing a loss a few games ago and getting lucky that AC Milan ended up tying Roma, and so that gap remained the same for them now. So we have Napoli facing off against a red-hot, Allegri-led Juventus squad, man. Juventus is back, bro.
We are, but
The
don't
Juve
jinx it.
fan?
Don't jinx it. 8 wins. The last 8 games, 8 wins. But not just that, 8 clean sheets. The way Allegri likes to win.
Yeah.
The 0 goals conceded.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
been great. And Napoli just coming from a loss, maybe putting a little bit pressure if we win. If we win, I think we're only
Juventus.
1 point away. I don't know if we're. I don't know. I'm not sure, but we might be.
Yeah,
1 point
yeah.
away.
I think if you win, you'd be.
Oh
you'd
no!
be,
We're actually 3 points away because they ended up winning. No, never mind. No, we would be 3 points away. But after that, anything could happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, regardless, the fact that Juventus is back into it this close and kind of building that form, I think is huge, bro. I think it's huge, and you got to be excited. Peace out, my friend Christopher Molina. He says I have school tomorrow.
Get some rest.
Hey, good night, man.
Yeah. So we have Napoli being projected to win with 70%, Juventus at 25%. I feel that Napoli hasn't really gotten to that classic Napoli way level of playing that they had prior to the World Cup.
yeah.
They're trotting a little bit. They're still able to play really good football, but it's not as magical as before. But I do think they could get there, especially if they are able to beat Juventus. in
Kvaratskhelia
the
slowed
process.
down. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
No.
So I don't know. I'm usually a kind of a pessimistic fan when it comes to Juventus, but I think I actually feel a win coming, and it'll put Serie A. It'll make it so interesting.
Oh, yeah. If Napoli get another loss here, that'll be huge.
Yeah.
It'll be 2 losses in, 4
Yeah.
games? That's bad. And this low key, and obviously I don't want to jinx it, but this could be actually a turning point for Napoli this game here.
Yeah.
If they can win in style, I think that'll give them the confidence to win their next 5 games. But if this ends up being like a 1-2-0 loss for them, they just can't find it. It's a cagey game, and Juve topped them. Napoli might start to get a little shaky and maybe a little
Exactly.
bit in their heads. I've seen it so many times in Spain with other maybe not Napoli level teams, but it definitely is, especially in this January time frame, man.
Yeah.
It's so easy to lose your fall season season form.
Yeah.
It's so easy to lose it. So this is a huge game for Napoli here. But I mean, Juve's form right now, this is gonna be a hell of a game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
I'm going Napoli. I want to see them win this fucking game,
Yeah.
dude. All right, and then tomorrow we actually have Messi making his comeback to the club level, bro. Playing for
Damn.
PSG, taking off nearly a whole month off of work, bro. Y'all imagine doing that shit?
That's crazy.
Damn, dude.
And it's the perfect stat padding session for him too, because they're facing 20th place. They have
God
6
damn.
points so far. 6 points.
Yep.
I think they won once.
8 points. 8 points.
8 points? Okay.
8 points.
Might have won
13
one.
losses in 17
Yeah.
games.
That's insane.
Good God. This is a team that
So-
has Buffon in it.
Yeah.
Buffon, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
But regardless, dude, Messi's gonna be back. All the cameras are gonna be on, and we're gonna be
Yeah.
seeing his highlights all over Instagram and
And
everything.
there's gonna be a little ceremony for
He-
him.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, every other player has been getting it,
Yeah.
so Messi should too. Even
God
though he plays in
damn,
country
dude. I wonder what
France.
that's gonna look like.
Yeah.
I wonder what that's gonna look like.
What Mbappe's gonna be doing in the meantime.
Dude,
It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, that'd be really fucking
Yeah,
interesting,
yeah.
man.
Damn.
I don't think there's hot blood between them. Like they don't.
I don't
you
think
know.
so.
It's just
I'm gonna
people
say
kind of
no.
creating it.
Yeah.
But Mbappe and Dibu, bro, that's where I would feel a little, a little disrespect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Everything that Dibu does is to get the result. He's a pretty respectful guy, except for whenever he had a Ninja Turtle during the celebrations.
All right, we do a quick Liga MX predictions here. We have 2 notable games coming up with Toluca against America. Toluca against America.
You guys gotta get me into Mexican
We
football.
gotta get you into that
You
shit,
gotta,
man. It's
yeah.
fun over here,
Pick
bro.
a team for me.
Yeah, that's the thing, though. We'll have to pick the right team
A
because
few
it can
years-
go wrong if
yeah.
we get you the
Who's
wrong
the
team.
odd-
A few years
Augustine
ago,
team.
I was because I watch a little bit of Mexican football. I was rooting for America because they had a lot of Argentinian players. Maybe 3-4 years
America
ago.
does tend to do that.
Yeah.
I could see you as like a Santos fan, though.
Okay.
Yeah, I could see him going for Santos, maybe Toluca. I don't know if I can see him as like a Chivas or
I
America.
could see you as a
I
Tigres. I could
have
see you as a
a-
Tigres fan.
Tigres.
I could see you as a
I have a
Tigres
second-
fan.
Monterrey.
But I don't trust them this year.
Just name
Yeah.
every single Mexican. I have a second division team. My girlfriend's team is Mineros de Zacatecas, so they're in
Oh,
second
for real?
division team.
Wow.
Yeah, they play their first game today.
Shit. Did they win?
I think they're playing right now. Actually.
Playing right now.
Shit.
Yeah.
Watch
we'll
party. Toluca versus America.
Toluca got their first game canceled, I believe, against Atlas, so I don't know how they're going to start this season. This is their opener, and America got a weird draw where they didn't even score, so I just consider this first little clausura jitters. I think it's hard to tell what's going to happen with any Liga MX team right now. Usually around the 5th, 6th game, you start to see the trends. Mm-hmm. So right now, honestly, this could go either way. I'm going to go Toluca just because I think they're at home. I think.
Oh, yeah. Okay. And likewise, we actually have a match where these two teams made a hell of a statement their first week. Tigres versus Pachuca. This could be a potential finals preview, in my opinion, with who I predicted would win the Liga MX tournament. Tigres facing off against the defending champions, Pachuca. Pachuca won 5-1, bro.
And they looked so good, man.
Damn.
But they looked terrible. But but Pachuca they were flowing, bro. Like they have not even let go of the pedal a little bit since winning the Apertura, bro. So they're looking really good for this clausura, man.
With
really,
Tigres
really
as well,
good.
man, getting the 3-0 win too, and they look nice in it. Really good interplay and build up. I was surprised by how they showed out in their first match. So we'll see what happens in this game. We'll
Luis
see.
Chavez got a free kick goal. Kevin Alvarez scored as well.
Damn, man.
So the Mexican international is doing really, really good for Pachuca, man.
I'm going Tigres. I'm going Tigres,
Yeah?
brother. Yeah. You got Pachuca?
I'm gonna
Get a
go.
prediction
I'm gonna
in.
go Pachuca, but I really want to see Tigres because I want to see Gorriarán play.
Okay.
I didn't see him play last week, so I want to see how he's been able to integrate himself. I know it's early, but I want to see how he's able to integrate himself into this team because I've been such a Gorri fan this couple seasons with Santos. Now that he's at a low key just a bigger team with bigger stars, I'm curious to see just how he feeds them and overall how he possesses the ball. Man, he's such a fun player to watch. So the game itself is going to be a banger.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's Liga MX, and that's what we have for match previews right now. Just a few games I wanted you guys to keep an eye on as we prepare for this week. We're trying to get back into the form of post World Cup blues and club football. I don't know what to call it. Just club football routine. And so, anything else you guys want to talk about before we exit here, and what's happening around the world? Anything that's coming to your all's minds?
Not really, man. No, I think we covered a lot. And again, just to end it, man. Seriously, Augustine, congratulations, man.
Thank you for being
Seriously.
a good sport. Hey, it takes guts to.
But also, fuck you.
Okay. Let me stop what I was saying. Forget it. I'm good.
No, congratulations, brother.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you,
A huge fucking victory. A World Cup is uncomparable. And I can only hope to one day experience it the way you did.
One day.
Yeah. So that's it, man. We're going to be signing off. You want to plug your socials or anything? Promote yourself to the people. I know you don't like doing it, but I'm going to force you to do it.
Is that
bro.
my camera?
That's it.
All right. Well, I'm Augustine from Debatable Football Opinions, mostly on Instagram, but I'm also pretty much on YouTube and TikTok. I believe it'll be Debatable FO. So, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, those 3 sites, you'll find me there. And,
All right. Thank you for being here once again, man. You always come through for us in this clutch. And thank you for the jersey to Soltero.
No, honestly, thank you.
I tell you can keep it, right?
I don't know if I want this
He's
one,
going to be wearing that
man.
shit for 9 more shoots. 9 more shoots.
Or whatever you want. You can keep it going.
I could.
It might be, I might get comfortable with that
Did
shit.
kiss the badge, yeah.
You gonna wash it at all? Or you just gonna keep it?
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see, man.
All right, man. That's it for us.